Hey folks, it's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community on the planet. Today is Saturday, it's September 16th. Hope you're having a great weekend. And in this video, we're going to be discussing HITI's recent earnings for Q3 2023. This was a great report. Stock did sell off, so we're going to give my thoughts and opinions on why that was. And then we'll take a look at the earnings estimate forecast. They did beat them. And then we'll also take a look at the chart. And I'll give my thoughts and opinions on what to expect in the days, weeks, months ahead. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos or whenever I go live. Also, make sure to give Pow Group a follow on X, which is formerly Twitter. I'll be going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And the handle for that is @GroupPow. Again, Pow Group on X. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Also, I just launched powmerch.ca. So if you want to go to the website, check that out. There's a 10% sale on until the end of the month, and you can get some POW swag, getting a lot of really great support and feedback for that. I really do love each and every one of you who supported me along the way. So we'll go through this. Most people have probably already gone through it. They did a conference call yesterday as well. In full disclosure, I do own High Tide stock. I'm very bullish on this stock. I think the stock's going to be a massive player long term. Whether or not it merges with another company or gets bought out or buys out more other companies remains to be seen, but I know for one thing's for sure, I think this company is going to be an absolute behemoth. Obviously, there's no guarantee, and this isn't financial advice. This is just my own personal opinion. But we see a continued revenue growth. We can see that they continue to just dominate the recreational market here in Canada, and their reward program and lower pricing is definitely starting to pay off. And they had some great milestones this quarter. But as you can see here, the revenue estimates did beat. So we were expecting negative 0.0475 for EPS, earnings per share, came in at negative 0.04, so pretty much in line, but a slight beat. And then revenue was forecasted at 118.46 million and came in at 124.35 million. So a decent beat there. And then, stock did sell off, but it ran quite a bit leading into that as well. And there were some news about, the DEA isn't going, there's, GOPs and different congressmen and women that are basically saying that they shouldn't reschedule it. So that was, and I said that was more than likely going to come out, right? There was going to be some opposition, and they were going to use that as a way to cool the market down and just manipulate the market like they always do. And then there was some news out that safe banking is going to be on the 27th, which they mentioned in this report here as well. We can see here MJ Moment Key Senate Committee officially schedules MJ Banking vote, and that's going to be for September 27th. And we don't know exactly what time yet. So it's September 27th, but we just don't know the time. Well, we'll go through this here real quick. Like I said, not going to read the whole entire thing because most people have already gone through this, but High Tide reported Q3 2023 financial results featuring positive free cash flow at 4.1 million and fourth consecutive quarter of record revenue and adjusted EBITDA of 124.4 million and 10.2 million respectively. So you can see the revenue continues to grow. And like I said, they hit that positive free cash flow. It's a great milestone, which they hoped to do before December 2023. So they were in line with that guidance. So we'll go through this here. The company has achieved positive free cash flow of 4.1 million this quarter in advance of its previously stated goal to reach the milestone by December 2023. Same store sales increased 19% year over year, 8% sequentially. Company remains the largest non-franchise MJ retailer in Canada with 156 locations, surpassing 1.1 million Cabana Club members, including 3 million U.S. customers and a global customer database surpassing 4.6 million. The company further enhanced the growth trajectory of its Cabana Elite paid membership program, which grew over 18,800 members as of today, representing a 39% increase from Q2, growing at a faster pace than previous 2 quarters. 14th straight quarter of positive adjusted EBITDA of 10.2 million, as I mentioned. And High Tide maintains cannabis MJ retail market share, excluding Quebec, at 9.5% through continued organic growth. And I pretty much only shop at Canna Cabana. Like when 99% of the money I spend on MJ goes to Canna Cabana. I absolutely love the store, and I love the staff. I love the products, and who can't love those prices? High Tide remains the highest revenue generating MJ company reporting in Canadian dollars and is the fastest growing retailer in the Americas, as reported by the Financial Times. We'll go through, so they go through some of their highlights. I've already gone through most of it. Let's go through here so gross profit margin in the 3 months ended July 31st, 2023 was 28%, consistent with previous several quarters. So again, a little bit lower here on the margins, but that is because of like I said, the fact that they have lower pricing and they have these reward systems and things like that. So the idea is it's going to pay off later on in the future, right? As they gain market share. Adjusted EBITDA increased to 10.2 million, as I mentioned. There was a couple other things that I wanted to mention here as well. The company continued to roll out Elite. Loss from operations, which included 8.5 million of non-cash depreciation and amortization expenses, improved to negative 0.7 million in the third fiscal quarter of 2023 compared to negative 4.7 million during the same period of 2022. Net loss was negative 3.6 million in the third fiscal quarter of 2023 compared to 2.7 million during the same period. So if you divide the loss by the shares, that will give you their negative 0.04. And then cash on hand as of July 31st, 2023 totaled 25.7 million compared to 18.3 million in the same period of 2022, representing an increase of 40% year over year and 14% sequentially without obtaining any external funding during the quarter and spending over 1 million on capital expenditures, CapEx. So we get some comments here from Raj Grover. So he's thrilled with the positive free cash flow of 4.1 million. And there was a couple other things he mentioned as well. See here. So they have our core brick and mortar business line is supported by our unique diversified MJ ecosystem and over 4.6 million global customers in Canada, US, UK, and the EU. Our elite customer base has growth accelerated during the quarter as we continue to focus more on in-store elite offerings and related inventory, said Raj Grover, CEO of HITI. So they go on to, he elaborates again, I'm not going to go through all of this, but then he goes on to say that the U.S. is, in the recent news coming out, the U.S. concerning the potential rescheduling of MJ and the possibility of the Senate Banking Committee markup of the Safe Banking Act within the next month. And again, we know that the vote is scheduled for September 27th, as reported by MJ Biz Daily. So we've got some massive catalysts on the horizon. We could even get legalization of medical in the U.S. MJ Act review up for consultation and review here in Canada. So we could see some improvements there with regards to Canadian regulation. And then, we got Florida potentially on the ballot. There's so many things. Germany coming online. However, with the U.S. and German potential MJ opportunities on the horizon, we are only just getting started, and the best is yet to come for High Tide. I would have to agree. So we're going to go through this a little quicker here now. I do want to bring up the chart here as well, and it's getting a little long-winded. So the main points is they did beat in terms of EPS, but they were still negative. And then a pretty big beat there in revenue, and you can see here the revenue just continues to grow, right? If we take a look at September 14th, 2021. If we take a look at, so the December 30th, 2022 was at 95 million. Here we are, 124. And then in September 14th, 2021, it was only at 48 million. And it's projected that we could be like a $6 billion market here in Canada. So at 10%, $6 billion, giddy up, High Tide. So we'll take a look. Give you the amount of cash on hand as well. Like I said, the margins were a little bit lower, but that was to be expected, especially with all these competitive pricing and the reward system. But you can see here from the high of the 14th, they dropped from the high of that day to the low of Friday. They dropped almost 20%. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is because of the fact that we just ran with no support, right? So when something has no support like this, you need to expect that. We had no support, so it was kind of a run before the earnings came out. So it was a bit of a sell the news, or buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Everybody thought that the earnings were going to be good. So people bought in anticipation of that. They were good. And then it sold off, right? Not because anything in there was really bad, in my opinion. I think it's one of the best companies run here in Canada. Definitely the best retailer. And like I said, I'm very bullish on it. I own it in my stock portfolio. I'm going to be holding it for many years. And I think that it's going to be, a top three MJ retailer for sure globally. But like I said, we had no support on the daily time frame. This is why technical analysis comes into play. We were daily overbought. Anything 70 and above is considered daily overbought, and we had no support until 130. So from that 130 level, we ran almost 58% of upside with no daily support. Right. So once we started daily consolidation, once we lost 189 on Friday, that was daily consolidation. That was the signal to go short or to get out and potentially reload cheaper. But again, this isn't financial advice. This is for entertainment and informational purposes only. But even if you just entered there and went short, that would have been about a 11.5% short opportunity. You could have reloaded 11% cheaper. And then we're still very, very healthy, right? We're still in a daily uptrend as long as we as long as we maintain above 130 and don't confirm a lower high and lower low and confirm a daily downtrend, we're still in a daily uptrend. So there's no major red flags here whatsoever. This is extremely healthy. We haven't even back tested EMA 12 there at 164, and then we have EMA 26 support at 150, which is a nice round psychological number as well, USD on the NASDAQ. So this was to be expected. Like I said, when you see this big of a move and a run up into earnings, usually you see the opposite where you sell off, right? Because the harder we run, we fall in anticipation. Everybody thought it was going to be bullish, and then it drops, right? So I don't think it was anything really to do with that report. Maybe the margins a little bit, but again, I think it was just mostly technical, and the fact that we ran so much, we were due for a pretty healthy pullback. We also saw an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross there on the weekly time frame, which gave us more confidence that we could potentially see upside. And then a lot of our names were starting to trend back to EMA 12. You can see here, Tilray was doing the same thing, SNDL was doing the same thing, VFF was doing the same thing. And then High Tide was just a little bit of a laggard. But as of the last month or so, we started the monthly bounce, and here we are. We got actually above it, very close to EMA 26. So if all our names are starting to head to EMA 26, that means Tilray could potentially go up to around $6. And then if SNDL were to backtest its EMA 26, that'd be around $4.40. But we'll stay on the topic of High Tide for the sake of this video. And like I said, in terms of the monthly time frame here, we're starting the monthly bounce, but we still haven't really confirmed a clear monthly uptrend. So we need to confirm monthly uptrends across the sector, right, with a higher low and higher high. We did break out of that falling wedge bullish as well. And if we take the measured move really from that wedge, just a rough guess here, look at that. It said we could go to about 205, and we hit exactly 205. So anybody who tells you the technical analysis doesn't work, they're out to lunch. They don't understand how to use the tool that has been put forth in front of them, or they don't understand that it's just odds and probabilities. It's not a guarantee. If 8 out of 10 indicators that are very high accuracy of playing out say that we're going higher, we're probably going higher. If 8 out of 10 say we're going lower, we're probably going lower. Does that mean we're absolutely going lower or absolutely going higher? No, but you can have an edge, and if it's 80% probabilities, wouldn't you want to take that risk? If you were going to a casino and you knew you're going to win 80% of the time, wouldn't you take that risk, right? So it's not, it's not the end all be all. It's just a way to have an edge and, just expect the most likely scenario. In this scenario, we're starting to see every name pretty much, especially in MJ, right, see some momentum shifting. And then we're starting to see the U.S. names run as well with the rescheduling. If we get rescheduled to Schedule 3, that'll solve 280E tax burden. But we could even get descheduled eventually and be treated the same as alcohol and tobacco, which I think is the most likely scenario. Also, we had the MACD and stochastic bull crosses and getting above the 10-week moving average here a couple of months ago. So that was a good signal that we could see a lot of upside from there when those macro weekly indicators say that. We're also above the 50 weekly, so we have the 100 there to contend with at 248. So we could be looking at that as well. But we do have a lack of resistance. We're above all of the daily moving averages as well. And we're seeing a golden cross here forming on the daily time frame. Last time that happened, the golden cross occurred at around $1.89, and we went to $13. Then the death cross happened with the 50-day above the 200-day crossing. Price went from about $6 all the way down to about $1. So now we're seeing the opposite, where we're seeing another golden cross potentially. And the great thing about this time is we're even lower than the last time the golden cross occurred. So I think we're going to see massive upside here into the end of the year. But overall, great earnings report. The revenue continues to exceed, up and to the right and exceed expectations. This is one of my favorite stocks, definitely my favorite retailer. And I own the stock. I'm going to be holding it, not selling anytime soon. It's basically where I spend 99% of my cash on MJ. But let me know in the comments below what you think of this. If you're bullish on High Tide, going to end it there, though, it's Rod with Powell Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth. I'll be getting another rapid fire news video out a little bit later on today, along with some product reviews. But make sure to smash the like, tick the bell, so you'll be ready for those whenever I do post those new videos. All right, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you on the next video.